JT here, and welcome to The Huddle. The Huddle is where I sit down with successful people from the world of sport and coaching. It's to learn more about their journey to greatness. Why do I have these conversations? Because success always leaves clues. I want to take a moment to thank you, whether you are watching on YouTube or on Facebook, whether you're listening to the audio on the podcast. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And here's my friendly reminder to you. The mind is like a parachute. It works best when it's wide open. So my challenge to you is to go all in on this conversation, to remove any distractions and get laser focused on the here and the now. And I guarantee you, you will gain a valuable nugget of wisdom that will not only help you succeed in sport, but more importantly, in the game of life. I wanted to create a solo episode this week. Part of the inspiration behind this solo episode was I recently had the opportunity to travel and speak with a high quality group of athletes and coaches. And just to give you some context, this high quality group of athletes and coaches had been experiencing some times of challenge and change. So their leadership team asked me to come in and just share some words of wisdom. And one of the first things I shared when I had the opportunity to sit and to connect with this strong and powerful group is a quote by Maxwell Maltz, the author of the best-selling book Psycho-Cybernetics. And Maxwell Maltz said, "You make mistakes. You are not a mistake." So what I love about that is it reminds others and myself that in the game of life, we all have moments where we make a decision, where we engage in behavior that in hindsight probably wasn't the best course forward. And that doing that is just part of the human experience. That making mistakes is just part of the game of life. That making mistakes are part of the ebbs and flows in this crazy adventure we call life. And most importantly, reminds us that we are not mistakes. We may engage in behavior that in hindsight we term mistakes, but we are not mistakes. It is not evident of who we are or our value or our worth in this world. So I wanted to share that just to, just ease people's minds, to bring a little bit of a deeper sense of calm and peace, and just to remind them that, we're all doing our best and we're just human beings having a human experience. And what I wanted them to understand through our conversation, through me being able to share some words of wisdom, was how to actually move forward in the game of life. And the reality is, anyone can move forward in the game of life when you perceive that things are going your way. And I'll give the old sports analogy. It's easy to move forward when you're up by 14 points, when you're on a 5-game winning streak, where you've put consecutive plays together. The real challenge in the game of life is learning how to focus on the road ahead when you're down by 14, when you're on a 5-game losing streak, when you've had a number of broken plays, broken assignments. And today I'm going to share with you 2 simple ideas that, if your mind is open to it, can help you to move forward in the game of life. And it really applies to any area of your life. So the first idea I want to share with you is this idea that in order to move forward in the game of life, you must be willing to see the truth. You must be willing to see the truth. And I just want to take a moment to acknowledge that seeing the truth isn't always warm and fuzzy. It's not always going to feel like sunshine and rainbows. You know, for example, if you are wanting to make some changes to your health, it might not always feel good to assess what your current health habits are, what your current eating habits are. But it's necessary in order to create change. If you are looking to play at the next level, you're looking to move on to post-secondary or professional sport, you know, being able to assess, you know, what am I currently doing? How am I currently spending my days? What am I giving my time and energy to? Isn't always all sunshine and rainbows. Or if you're trying to make some changes to your finance, you're trying to save for school, you're trying to save for a vacation, you're trying to save for a down payment for a home, you're trying to save to start that business. You got to be aware of what you're currently spending your money on today. And like I shared a few moments ago, it's not always going to feel warm and fuzzy. It's not always going to feel like rainbows and sunshines. But you have to be willing to see the truth. You have to be willing to acknowledge that where you've gone is no indication of where you can go. You have to be willing to understand that you have made some mistakes, that in hindsight, with what you know now, you would probably make different decisions. But it's really having that willingness to see the truth. Second, once you are willing to see the truth, the second thing you must do is you must be willing to see that there is a path forward, and you must be willing to take courageous action to move on that path. So it's great when you're willing to see the truth. And a willingness to see the truth is often disguised as you get to see what you don't want, right? The health you don't want. Maybe it's being at a job you don't want. Maybe it's the finances you don't want. But if you flex your perception muscle, which is a mental muscle, right? A higher conscious faculty, you can then see that you can then focus on what you do want. And this requires you to see the path forward. And by seeing the path forward, right, you have to be willing to take courageous action. So the path forward, you have to be willing to put right foot forward. And then once you put the right foot forward, you must be willing to take the left foot forward, and so on and so on. And as you have the courage to take focused action towards your goals, towards where you want to go, through that, it's only a matter of time before you create new and different results. And when you do that, and you have a willingness to take consistent and focused action towards where you want to go, aka your goals, that it's not a question of if you'll hit your goal, if you'll hit your destination. It's simply a matter of when you do it. And the truth of the matter is, we are always taking educated guesses on when we'll hit their goal. Most of the time, if you take consistent focused action, you'll hit your goals sooner than when you thought you would. And then sometimes you'll hit them after. But you'll hit them. So again, just to summarize, in order to move forward in the game of life, in order to create new and different results in any area of your life, you must be willing to see these two things. One, you must be willing to see the truth. And as I shared earlier, the truth doesn't always feel good. The truth is, it doesn't always feel warm, fuzzy. It doesn't always feel like sunshine, rainbows, and unicorns. And it's acknowledging that there'll be mistakes. You'll make mistakes along your journey, and that's okay. It's part of the human experience. And two, you must be willing to see that there's a path forward, that new and brighter is possible for you. And most importantly, you must be willing to take courageous action towards your goals, towards where you want to go. And if you simply understand those two ideas, and you consistently remind yourself of that, you consistently take them and focused action and apply these ideas to your life, you will experience more wins in your life, in any area of your life. So, as I like to remind you every week in the huddle, knowledge is potential power. It's the consistent and focused application of great knowledge that actually creates great results. So my challenge to you is to take one of these valuable nuggets of wisdom and go apply it to your life today. And as I like to remind you every week in the huddle, you are deserving of greatness. You are worthy of greatness. You are greatness. And my only ask from these conversations, if it resonated with you, if it touched your heart, then please share it with a friend, a loved one, or someone you feel that would just benefit from listening to these positive, inspiring, and empowering ideas. The more people we have listening, understanding, and applying these simple principles to their life, the more blessed this world will be. As always, I love having these conversations with you in the huddle. Have a blessed rest of your day.